what the hell happened to Keith Ellison in the past 3 weeks?
I don't know. I gotta pour something out for the homies on this one
because he's making some very frustrating decisions, and I know a few of us on the channel, me, you, Ben, David, were willing to give him not necessarily the benefit of the doubt, but lukewarm support amongst the field of losers who were running for the DNC. He was the best of, he was the best of the bottom of the barrel, which is the DNC, and he's proven himself over the past 2 or 3 weeks to make a lot of subpar decisions out of nowhere for seemingly no reason. And
go ahead.
No, please. I want to hear what your input on.
Well, I was going to say we talked about this a little bit to some extent on Sunday on Politics and Grits. If you guys haven't seen Politics, listen to us on Politics and Grits. Definitely check it out. We have 5 episodes on lock so far. But I get the argument. People saying he's playing the game. He's trying to win. The establishment. Some of the establishment is against him. Some of them are with him. He has the support of all these people. Blah blah blah. But he's making, like you said, he's making some very questionable choices. I mean, one of the things that, of course, has been on a lot of people's mind today has been the tweet of an old ass, biased propaganda article about, believing 2 decades of Republican lies if you believe that Hillary Clinton is corrupt. I'm like, who the hell is running your account? Because I find it really hard to believe that Keith Ellison, who was thumping hard for Bernie Sanders at the time that was written, actually tweet that shit out himself. I'm having a hard time believing that. But even if someone else did tweet it out, why the hell are you not monitoring what's going on with your social media? And why don't you know what's going on with your people and what messaging they're put out? Because here's the thing. Dim loyalists fucked up, right? Like they lost this election. So pandering to dim loyalists and pandering to what dim elite contributors want is going to get you what exactly besides, okay, you get to be chair of the DNC. Then what? Debbie Wasserman Schultz did that. She got to be chair of the DNC, and we continued to lose seats. The only seats that she made sure were kept was her own, right? And her few pet people. Like Tim Kaine was head of the DNC, and we lost seats. So kiss an ass to those people. What does that matter when you people are losing anyway? So you could actually usher in a new age by doing things differently. You're not going to do things differently by doing the same old. And it's great that he's doing his little man of the people speaking tour and stuff now. But what happened in Florida? Because can't nobody who's going so hard for Keith talk about Florida, and can't nobody talk about that tweet. That tweet is insulting because that article is not even legitimate. The article is not even factual. It's BS. And it dismisses actual real criticism of Hillary Clinton, which is what happened to us all throughout the primary. He has done nothing but double down and try to kiss the ass to people who don't know what the hell they're doing.
Well, the article is part of the article is part of a larger pattern that we've seen emerge on the establishment left that seeks to put forth position that there is no legitimate criticism of Hillary Clinton. There is simply no legitimate criticism of Hillary Clinton. If you are criticizing her, you are Republican or you are a misogynist, and those two things are sort of intertwined in their heads. Basically, if you are supporting her, you're not a misogynist, regardless of any of your other qualities or your other past problematic behavior. Cough, cough, Bill Clinton. God, are you serious? Yeah. And so it comes down that Hillary Clinton is providing a blank check for a lot of these problematic people to prove their progressive bona fides, to get their big not racist, not sexist stamp. But when it comes to Keith Ellison, I don't know what game he thinks he's playing. The only game I think Keith Ellison could be convincing me he's playing is that he's actually trying to destroy the DNC. Like this is some kind of deep plot to wreck the DNC the way they wrecked Bernie. That he's still completely salty and he's playing a real long, deep con. These decisions don't even make any sense. And I'm, starting with his, again, a lot of this is over Twitter. Starting with his Twitter accounts, blocking Erica Gardner for some reason.
Right.
That was like the first step, and then his support of Biddle in Florida. Was it Biddle? It was Biddle, right? And now this sort of regurgitation of primary and general election talking points that fundamentally lost Clinton the campaign. It's like this lost her the campaign, and now he's regurgitating it. It reminds me of this analogy that I've heard Sam Cedar use on his show of Michelle Bachmann in her response to the Obama State of Union address, where she was talking to the Tea Party camera to the left, and the rest of America was watching on a camera facing this way. And so she's sitting here talking to the Tea Party and to the rest of America, the rest of the Republicans, the rest of, the sane people out there, for lack of a better word. She seems crazy. And this is what it seems like when you're watching talk to the Democratic establishment now, as he seems to be, catering to them and their ideas, to the rest of the left, to the rest of us, to us progressives, to us Democrats who are interested in a more substantive of what happened. Although what happened is obvious. Clinton was a historically weak candidate with a lot of baggage. So I don't know what insight can be given here. He seems crazy, or rather he seems stupid. This line of establishment thinking, establishment pandering, and establishment propaganda, he seems crazy. And I'm kind of just waiting for the putting out anti-Russia propaganda to start equating everything to being Russia. And I feel hurt a little bit because I sort of spoke out in favor of him. And again, give him the benefit of the doubt. He's not perfect, but he's better than Howard Dean. He's better than Tim Kaine. He's better than a lot of these problematic figures, only to be, Obama again. Talking about him being another Obama and another identity politics pick. They were right. And apparently they were right. Because he Obama'd us. He fooled us with his, you're right, his man of the people. I'm gonna roll up my sleeves, get my, talking about the churches, and he let me down, although I wasn't too invested in, to be honest.
Well, I don't regret anything that I've said in quote unquote defense of Keith Ellison. I've never been a huge diehard Democrat to begin with, right? So things I've said have been like when everybody was like, oh my God, he has Soros connections. I've said things like, tell me a Dem that's in the running who doesn't have Soros connections. My issue is about process and fairness. And that's what I've stuck to in terms of my quote unquote defense. Like even talking about the false slurs in terms of the anti-Semitism allegations, like the piece that Solomon and I wrote. I mean, I think that no matter who you support, you should agree that slurring otherwise, an otherwise eligible candidate, on some BS just to win is wrong. And if you're saying you're about doing things the right way, this is not the way you do it. But it's also a pattern that we see with Black leadership anyway. They dangle that over people's heads. So I don't really have a problem with anything I said in defense of him. I've had a cautious eye, but my issue has been more so of how people go overboard in their criticism sometimes. Like you can criticize people and it's not respectability. I believe in basic respect of people until they give you a reason not to respect them anymore. I mean, this is the game. This is what he's choosing to do. And this is what the Democrats are showing us, though, that they're going to change. They're going to paint some walls. They're going to change the drapes, but the house is going to still be the same. You still coming in. You still sitting at the little kids' table at Thanksgiving. You not getting to the big table. We might have let a couple of your friends sit at the table with us, but this is all that's happening. So don't be thinking too much more is going to happen. That's their loss, though. We need to move on.
Well, we're going to move on, and I agree because I'm tired of talking about Democrats. I'm tired of talking about Keith Ellison because they just can't,
and they give us so much potential.
But it's just the same mistakes over and over again. And I feel like we're having the same show over and over again because the Democrats they show such a frightening lack of activity over what happened, and it's frustrating. Like it's frustrating to watch people make the same mistake over and over and over again, and you wonder, well, 99th time, why would it work the 100th time? But this comes down to a larger question about the Democratic Party structure, its culture, it's like the way it socializes people, like what you have to do to get ahead. But I will cop to the fact that I think I might have defended Keith Ellison a little bit more strongly than I should have, simply because people like Haim Saban didn't like him. And I was like, okay, right. Well, maybe I might succumb to the Anti-Defamation League, where a little bit of the friend of my enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing.
Exactly. And Amy Siskin, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, but honestly, it doesn't matter to me how problematic he is as a liberal, as an alleged progressive. I do have a problem though with people acting like this hero worship. Someone said this earlier. We need to get away from hero worship or the savior complex. People are acting like somehow Keith Ellison as DNC chair is just going to magically make everything better. You still have all the problematic ass people involved with their hands and things. What's really problematic about that tweet and that article from earlier, what's from the Daily Blanter from back in January, is extremely dismissive, extremely derisive this is prior to the primaries, right? That article. But it also undermines a lot of the positions, even now, right? As Camp Clinton refuses to take any responsibility for the disaster that was the general election, right? It's everyone else's fault but theirs. And now we have, someone who's supposed to be and he continues to make excuses for her all throughout or whatever. And that's a problem. I find no problem standing up for people. I don't have to agree with you to respect you. I don't have to like you to call out wrong is wrong. Right. And I think we should be able to do that no matter what. Because if someone's out there being homophobic, even if I don't like the person that they're dogging, I'm still going to say something about it. I don't have to like you. I don't have to support. I don't have to rock with you. But wrong is wrong. So some of the treatment that Keith Ellison has gotten has been wrong. But I agree with you about calling him out as problematic.
Look, we do have that problem in this country. We are hesitant to label people basically what they are. And I mean, not with anti-Semitism. Some people are very eager to label things as, what they are. But when it comes down to black behavior with, problematic ideology, we can be a little bit in some ways. We can so we say well, this person says a lot of racist things, but are they a bad person? It's yeah, especially when it comes down to these people who lack accountability.
So on Twitter, the Honeycomb said, so Ellison's line on Biddle is that he didn't know he had money when he met him, and Biddle met Ellison with a plan. This is pathetic. When the Biddle endorsement was brought up, Ellison told us at the town hall not to repeat smears. What?
I'm kind of done with Ellison.
I'm over everybody. We need a coalition government.
Because at this point,
suck.
It becomes hard to understand whether these people are stupid or corrupt.